He's at it again. The captain of Manchester United, the individual that's meant to lead the club, the individual who, for all intents and purposes, right now is screaming out for further opportunities to get back into the Man United team. Again, lacks the togetherness, the leadership, and the self awareness to review his own performances, his own behaviors, and instead is further leaking, in my opinion, nonsense, but further leaking stories to the media to act like he's done nothing wrong. Now, via Mark Ogden today, it says here a source close to Maguire says that Harry hasn't had a good 12 months, but he hasn't been helped by those around him, coaches or players. So it's inevitable that his confidence and form have suffered. And when it says sources close to Maguire, that's either Maguire, his mum, his dad, or a sibling. Parents, siblings, or him. That is how parents defend their children at parents' evening. Nah, it must be you. Must be the teachers. It must be the other pupils. It wouldn't be my Harry. No, it wouldn't be my Harry whatsoever. It's also stated, the same source, that Harry Maguire's frustrations with David De Gea's communication and reluctance to defend further away from his goal line were a factor in the overall malaise in defence last season. It's funny how, though, Maguire is dropped and Man United and David De Gea improve. Nobody is suggesting that David De Gea hasn't made mistakes. I'm someone that stated that I think we need to look beyond David De Gea. But again, the lack of self-awareness, the inability to read the room, the fact that the captain of Man United is out here, and again, it's either him or someone very close to him, so I'm believing that this has come from a credible source. Doesn't mean I believe what the source is saying. This is them again passing the buck. This is them again blaming other people for their problems, their mistakes. It is, without doubt, reprehensible, disgraceful, and overly embarrassing for Man United Football Club. Sources close to Harry Maguire state Harry needs pace around him, but he hasn't had that. If you put Ruben Diaz in the Man United defense and Maguire in the City back four, Diaz would struggle and Harry would thrive. Who's that fast in the Man City defense? Realistically, John Stones is not a pace merchant. He's not known for being Usain Bolt's little brother. You've got Carl Walker at right back. Cool. I swear Diaz typically plays the left-hand side. Even if I'm wrong, and he's got Carl Walker next to him. It's not as though Delo and AWB have been slow players. They're not Carl Walker, but they're not slow. Cancelo? Is he a speed demon? No. Zinchenko? Is he a sprinter? No. Nathan Ake typically only plays when he's covering for Ruben Diaz. This has to be the most shameful, self-indulgent defense that I have seen since Juicy Smollett. This is nothing but embarrassing, and this is meant to be the captain of Manchester United, who is out here spouting absolute tosh again and again and again and again. The leaks from him are a disgrace, blaming everybody but himself. Harry Maguire out here talking about he needs pace around him. David De Gea is the problem. This guy needs to get out of Manchester United and quickly. Of course, his teammates, if they're questioned in the media in this international break, will say nice things about him because they're professional. Of course, the club will say nice things about him because they're professional and he's the captain. But the volume of leaks, the volume of stories that come from him and or his camp have become an utter abomination, a continual embarrassment. It brings shame and laughter towards the football club, and we should not be tolerating it. This will again be another test for the Glazers and their quote unquote change, for the quote unquote rebuild, for the quote unquote new process that we are told to trust. Because he's looked at as a huge failure. £85 million, a good first season, and failure after that point. But do the club want to fall on that sword? Do they want to admit defeat and sell him for 20, 25, 30 million? Because that is about the max you'll get if you're lucky. And I might be stretching that a little bit. There can be no way with these types of leaks that Erik ten Hag is going to be happy. But will the Glazers allow him to be sold? And for me, the selling of this player has to come as early as January, because it's, as I've said, an abomination that he can come out and talk like this. And I don't care that it's from a source. That source is him. 110% him. Mark Ogden is not a liar. Mark Ogden knows people. And when you listen to the way that these people are talking about him, not blaming his poor performances, it's alarming. And it tells you it's a sibling or a parent. Like I've already stated, it's how parents defend their kids. It's identical. It truly, truly is. Now, as Man United fans, you've got to stand up against this. As Man United fans, you've got to push back against this. As Man United fans, you've got to do something about it. And how you do that is by, of course, you verbalize it, either video or you tweet about it. You make your feelings heard, because we know the club sees it. We know Maguire sees it. We know the manager will see it. You push back. You challenge the media outlets. Why are you not talking about this? Why is Maguire not being criticized for these types of leaks? When you thought Paul Pogba did leak things. And what I mean by leak things, his agent at the time and him and his family would speak about the player leaving. They would speak about needing new challenges. For me, that's still leaking information. You should keep it professional and say, I'm a Man United player and I'm dedicated to the club. Do all the other stuff behind the scenes. So he was rightfully condemned for talking so regularly about wanting to leave, transfers at the wrong times of the season. I want to see the same energy for Harry Maguire. Marcus Rashford was rightfully condemned. Every time the club was going through turmoil and there were stories that some players weren't training right, he'd always have it released that he's working hard and he's doing the right thing. And I felt that type of leak was wrong, because you're essentially throwing other people under the bus and you should be publicly behaving as a team. So we have seen Pogba's, we've seen Rashford's criticized for leaks coming out. We have seen Martial berated for body language on the football pitch, for telling his agent to seek him a new football club. I want to see the same energy for Harry Maguire, not just from fans and the top Reds, but I want to see the same energy from the mainstream media. I want to see the same energy from the Talk Sports, the Sky Sports. I want to see you go for him in the same way, instead of continuously defending him over and over and over again, time and time and time again. Defend, 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 defend. This man is leaking information. This man is criticizing his teammates. This individual is blaming everybody but himself. And over the past year, it's been managers, coaches, Ronaldo, De Gea now. The fact he's blaming everybody else's pace. Well, how about we twist it the other way, Maguire? How about we twist it into your lack of pace is what's costing us? Because suddenly, Raphael Varane joined Man United and went from being considered one of the best defenders in the world, Champions League Varane, to being a laughing stock, to people saying, oh, maybe he's not as good as we all thought. People suggesting, and I mean this with respect, that Ben White was better. Look at the difference in Raphael Varane playing 4 games. 4 games he played. 4 games he played in the Premier League with Lisandro Martinez. De Gea is suddenly doing a lot better. Varane suddenly looks world-class again. Barely conceding goals. Beating Liverpool and Arsenal. And you have the gall. You have the brass neck. You have the front to allow someone or yourself to put out this information as Man United captain, get the hell out of here. Disgraceful. The Glazers, this is a message to you. You should be sitting down with Erik ten Hag in the next 24 hours and discussing the exit strategy for Maguire. He should not be a Man United player. If you can help it in January 2023 or by the end of the summer 2023, that should be it. This should be enough. He should be disciplined to high hilt. A message should be sent across that dressing room. Just because you wear the armband, you don't think you can do this. Leaks to the media are categorically 110% unacceptable. Man United in our history got rid of one of the greatest centre-backs the club's ever had. Not for talking to the media, for speaking about private matters in a book, in an autobiography. No, don't like what you said. You are gone, Yapstam. That was a decision that Fergie ended up regretting on a player-to-player level. But no one else did it. Or very few players after that spoke out. Roy Keane did, captain, boom, gone. Treble-winning captain, gone. Ruud van Nistelrooy, one of the best goal scorers, game-per-game ratio in Man United history, goal-per-game ratio in Man United history, started misbehaving, was falling out with the future star of Cristiano Ronaldo, sacrificed. David Beckham, for very different reasons, sacrificed. That is how winning is done, or partly. And the Glazers need to stand by Erik ten Hag and allow him to remove this parasite from Manchester United, because for me,